The becoming of a triathlete. You've been swimming, you've been cycling, and you've been running, and perhaps you've been putting all three of those together into a triathlon event. But are you exhibiting some of the telltale signs that will really cement your position as a triathlete?
Well, today we're going to elaborate on some of those quirks and traits, and who knows, maybe you'll recognize a little bit of them in yourself or somebody from your training group too.
Now, in days gone by, it may have just been your damp and cold garden shed. Maybe the luckiest out there might have done it in the warmth of their garage. But if, like me, this was just called the place I did my turbo, maybe listen to the radio, and maybe, just maybe, you might have watched a film or a video on your laptop or TV just to take the boredom away.
Yeah, well, fast forward to the present day, and many of us have a whole new term for this haven of indoor training. And yes, we refer to this as our pain cave. Now, that does conjure up all sorts of torturous training thoughts, but these spaces have now evolved into a place full of the latest training, gadgets and toys, and it is a far cry from the fan-based turbo trainers I started out on many years ago.
Yeah, modern day pain caves, well, they're just full of like smart trainers connected to flat screen TVs for optimum viewing. You've got treadmills, mini gyms, and even the luckiest out there have got saunas, maybe even a hot tub. Whew, I tell you what, Fraser, I bonked hard last night. It was terrible.
Jeez, oh Mark, are you okay? Yes, we might giggle, but talking about bonking is no laughing matter, because if we forget to fuel properly, whether that be eating or drinking adequately, then we are going to know all about the concept of bonking very quickly. And this can sneak up on us at the most least expected times, because it's not necessarily going to be our hardest or our longest training sessions that can inflict this problem of bonking.
Now, do you find yourself scanning for good training locations to go on holiday? Or conversely, do you find yourself going on holiday and packing your swim, bike and run kit, and maybe even your bike itself, and hoping that you might find some good training from the door of your hotel? Well, you'll be pleased to know you are definitely not alone. Now, we've all heard the saying, if it's not on Strava, it didn't happen. In this age of social media uploads and updates, it can be all too easy to feel like we must have all our training devices synced and linked to our phones so that they automatically upload and the world can see that we have been working out.
Yeah, and I'm afraid I am all too guilty of this. I've been an avid user of Strava for a number of years, but there's lots of positives to the platform, and I, for one, find it a really good tool for using it as a training diary and seeing all of my sessions logged in one place.
Now, take a wander through the transition area of any triathlon event, be that your local triathlon club affair or a full-scale Ironman event, and you won't have to look far to spot all manners of top-of-the-range triathlon bikes. And this is a bit of a character trait of us triathletes. We're just attracted to expensive and shiny equipment, and our bikes do tend to feature prominently as our pride and joy.
Yeah, now inevitably this means that the car that we drive can somewhat slip down the pecking order of importance in our lives. And I, for one, know in my own personal circumstances that if I pop my bike in the back of the car to drive somewhere or go to a race, the value of that car vastly increases as a result of that bike, which is worth more getting into it. You ready to go, Mark?
Fraser, when I said brick session, I didn't mean with a brick.
Oh, right, so I'll put this away, shall I? Yeah.
Now, talk to a non-triathlete about doing a brick session, and they may assume that you're some sort of bricklayer or you're building a house, and that by doing a brick session, perhaps you're doing some sort of intense bricklaying. Well, obviously we know that's not the case, and by doing a brick session, we're actually doing two activities in quick succession, such as running off the bike.
Getting yourself out of the door to get a training session done once a day can often seem hard enough, but actually for many athletes it's not once but twice a day that they're getting ready to go and train. I mean, you really know you are a triathlete when you're not only packing stuff for getting a session done before work in the morning, but that you've then got extra kit for a repeat return to maybe the pool or the gym after hours as well. There's one thing that triathletes really are, and that is a sucker for the commitment to train multiple times in a day.
Now we train really hard to be faster at swimming, cycling and running, but eventually we realised there's ways of being faster in a triathlon that require no effort, such as aerodynamics and not bothering with socks in transition.
Yeah, now actually some triathletes take this a whole step further and actually are quite comfortable not wearing socks in their day-to-day life. This is fine, just own it, but do be aware that pure cyclists and runners do not think that this is normal attire whatsoever.
Right, you might think we don't know what you're doing, but when you're floating in the open water just off of the shore's edge, perhaps with a rather concentrated look on your face, it's fairly obvious that you're likely relieving yourself. It's obvious because, well, we all do it. Yeah, you know you're a triathlete when you're very happy and very comfortable peeing in the open water, more specifically, peeing in your wetsuit. And finally, you definitely know you're a triathlete when you're slipping your work clothes on over the top of your compression socks to really aid that recovery between your sessions.
I've done that before, Mark. What are you laughing at?
Yeah, me too.
Hopefully this selection of triathlon sketches that we've just gone through resonates a little with you, and I actually think you'd be lying if you said anything other. Now, hopefully you've enjoyed this video, so please give that a like if that's the case.
Yeah, and if you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe to GTM by clicking on the globe on screen right now and hit that bell icon to notify you when some of our other videos like this come out. And if you'd like to see our 7 types of triathletes, you can see that by clicking just down here.
Yeah, and if you want to see a video we did where we asked the pros how fast can you swim 100 meters, you can find that here.